Like you're one of the magic guys.
Magic the Gathering, because I think maybe your audience probably is thinking, oh, he's like, ta-da, magic. No,
that was awesome.
Yes, that was. Well, I mean, you can't do that? I thought everybody. That's just
All right,
like
it's getting expensive now.
Okay. Oh,
it's getting expensive now.
You want me to move this?
Yeah.
Here, sit up a little one. This is so funny.
no.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Pardon me?
Here, I should get up here.
Yeah, get up.
I'm 200 pounds.
Is that all right?
I'm not picky.
All right. I just got excited.
Just so you know, I'm such a type of nerd where I don't get anything. I don't know anybody. I get no references. I don't know any music. I don't know any actors. I don't know anything pop culture. I will not be able to play along with any bit. I'm hopeless. I'm just warning you in advance. If you wanted cool and with it, you have got the wrong person with his shoes off. But at least I got some really good coffee out of it.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!
I appreciate your patience.
There
we go.
Absolutely.
Bring this to you a little.
Yes, sir.
And so we're not covering your face. Like, do it so it's down.
Down.
Okay. Oh, I'm so upset.
Let's do BetterHelp first. I know. You have trouble with this stuff, and that's why you go to therapy.
I think I need to actually just go to therapy instead of just promote it right now. Well, goblins, therapy is important. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. And here's where I would animate a whole bunch of dishes talking to me, but I don't really have the time to do that. So you just have to trust me that the dishes are talking to me. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Bottom line, therapy is important, and BetterHelp, our sponsors, want you to start living your best life today. Listeners get 10% off their first month by visiting BetterHelp, HELP.com/TYSO.
That's betterhelp.com/TYSO for 10% off your first month.
Dishes? It's the dishes! I use HelloFresh. Yeah, they're a sponsor, but I use them, and I like them.
You love them.
I do.
Because you don't like going to the grocery store.
I don't like going to the grocery store. And also, when I do go to the grocery store, I don't know, what do I buy? What dishes am I buying? We'll talk more about this in a little bit. What am I, my mom?
Go to hellofresh.com/TYSO12 and use code TYSO12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping.
HelloFresh.com/TYSO12. Use promo code TYSO12 for free shipping on 12 free meals.
That's pretty insane, 12 meals.
Brian?
Yes.
Like I said, I apologize too much these days. Because you don't know me at all. I just feel like this is taking longer than I meant, and this is I get very insecure, so I don't spin.
Okay.
I'm acknowledging it with you.
Yeah, I understand completely.
And I feel safe with you, but I have to
Yeah, I actually have a very similar issue or reaction, whatever you want to call it, where I feel that way. If we were in it's funny, like, to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm a very open, honest guy, I'm very cool as a cucumber. Yeah, I'm really cool as a cucumber right now, but if we were in my studio, I would be sweating bullets. I really would. And doing the same thing. And I've had interviews where I forgot to turn the microphone on. I wept after one. We finished. I said, that was the best I've ever done. And then I looked down and I forgot to hit record on the audio. And I literally broke down sobbing. And the person never spoke to me again. I freaked them out. They did speak to me again, but they were no longer my friend. They really got freaked out because I had a mental breakdown. I was also under a lot of stress. But yeah, I forgot to hit record on audio for the best interview I ever didn't give. And we couldn't, it was no way to replicate it because it was just a similar thing to this.
What was the interview about? And you were friends with him beforehand?
It was about Magic the Gathering, and I was friends with them beforehand.
So you were crying because you didn't get the footage, or you were embarrassed?
I got the footage. I hit record on my 3 cameras. I have a 3-camera setup, but I did not hit record on the audio for some reason. And we had what I felt was one of the best conversations ever. And there were a lot of other factors going on in my life, obviously, as there always are. But when I realized that I had no audio, I only had video with silence, and so it was lost, and it can't be recreated because it's not a scripted. I do scripted stuff too, and that's fine to recreate, but that was just a conversation, and that conversation was amazing and lost, and I just had a meltdown in front of my, they were with me as a guest on the program, but they were also a friend in real life, and I don't know that this is the total reason, but it definitely was like one of those, wow, do I not want to be sitting here while this person is just like having a sobbing breakdown over that, which is very fair. And then it was just like, I'm sorry. After, this, and then it was just like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to go now,
Did you know in the moment that he was uncomfortable with you and you just couldn't deal with it? Or did you not even register that yet?
I was in a breakdown. I was not registering much. I was registering that I was a failure and a loser, and I had just destroyed the only beautiful thing I'd ever been able to create up until that point. That's all that was. And then I was pulling myself back together and apologizing. And I again, I don't know. I'm not like that this horrible friend or anything like that. I believe, because afterwards it was always uncomfortable and distant. And I believe that had a big factor in the uncomfortableness.
I want to ask you some more questions about that, but before people who don't know who you are, let me give a quick introduction.
Sure.
I want to call you Brian.
You can call me Brian.
Brian?
People don't know that's my name, though.
Brian.
Yes.
We're going to put you as the professor in the
Sure.
in the title.
It's fine.
And if you prefer professor, we'll do it.
I don't care. It's what people prefer. It's one of those things. As a YouTuber, I think YouTubers and Twitch streamers perhaps have this more than other types of creators. But a lot of us have monikers. You know, hey, I'm Freakzilla69 or whatever. And
we actually have a surprise guest. Freakzilla69.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic that you're getting booked again after that incident. Hey, yeah, that's great. I guess people accepted the apology.
Could you, make sure you, lock the door. Thank you. I want people, I'm meeting you for the first time.
Yes, you are.
So,
but I've met you many times before.
Thank you very much, by the way. You're a big fan. You are a magic guy. Like, you're one of the magic guys.
Magic the Gathering, because I think maybe your audience probably is thinking, oh, he's like, ta-da, magic. No,
that was awesome.
Yes, that was. Well, I mean, you can't do that? I thought everybody, that's just like...
It's getting expensive now.
Okay.
It's getting expensive now.
Oh, you pay the people who work for you? That's wild. Yeah. Wild. LA, baby.
What does that mean? Do you not pay people to help you?
No, I'm actually very proud of the fact that actually, like, in Magic the Gathering content creation, a lot of it's very low budget and people doing it as a hobby. And so most of it is favors. And it's just like, hey, could you do me a favor and help with this thing? And that's really cool. I'm at a level where I am able to pay actual like fair, I believe, fair for people's skill and work and stuff. And I'm very proud of that. Everybody I work with in any capacity, big or small, I have a lot of people who are like, oh no, I'm happy to do a little bit of art for the thumbnail. I'd be happy to. No. I'm paying you for your work and time, and I try and keep it competitive.
So, when did it get that way? So you started a YouTube channel and you're Magic the Gathering guy. There's, as far as I'm concerned. So let me tell you about me and Magic just in a real quick soundbite.
Sure.
In fact, we'll make this at 1.5 times speed, so it really gets out fast.
Started playing Magic in '98. Loved it. Always was a collector even before Magic. I'm big into collecting. I saved my collection. I would still buy pieces. And as I've gotten older, there's not too many people to play Magic with anymore. So my collector versus player went a little bit this way. And I was more just holding, collecting, and keeping up with that. I got back into Magic a year or two ago when I saw how many of my, how much of cards went up. Yeah. So I was able to sell and make some money and, support the podcast. And then I found...
Magic on YouTube through Rudy, Alpha Investments.
Yeah, I know Rudy.
And that was my only YouTube channel that I knew of until I found you. And then there's, you guys have very different channels.
We do, and we have a very interesting relationship off camera in that sense.
Rudy's a collector. Rudy is investments. It's Alpha Investments. He's about investments. Yes. You seem to me, and tell me if I'm reading this right, not only are you not investments, you seem to be the antithesis of it. You seem to be about... We're for the people. Not that investments aren't for the people.
Yes.
But you are for the people. The cards need to be affordable. We still want them to be worth money, but we want players happy playing the game.
I'm a bit of a consumer advocate, and I'm definitely about the game. I collect as well, but I think the game should always come first, and then collection it should be thought of. And I think that is something for the average person to think of and consider. But it can't just be a collector piece, and the game needs to be able to be played.
Right.
And I'm also just about people not losing or wasting their money, and so I'm a big consumer advocate in that sense. That I just...
What do you mean wasting their money?
Well, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but a lot of people maybe go down to, and this is a very basic example, but you go down to the game store and you buy a pack of card sleeves to protect your cards while you play. So for people who don't know in Magic, the cards are some of them worth a lot of money, some of them worth a little money, and you also play a game with them. And if you don't sleeve them and you just shuffle them like a deck of playing cards, they'll get scuffed up. And so what we have, and it sounds insane if you're not in the world, is little plastic sleeves that you slide your cards into. And that way you can play with them and shuffle them without them getting terribly dinged up and messed up. So you protect the value of your cards, but also get to play with your cards. The problem is some card sleeves might split on you when you shuffle them too much, or might.
Is anybody shuffling their cards though?
Some people do not like the playing cards, but they do have a bit more friction than a basic like riffle shuffle.
As an early teenager, I don't remember where I learned this device, but it's how I always shuffle my trading card games. I do 8 piles on top.
Pile shuffle, yeah.
Oh, there's a name for it. Pile shuffle.
Yep.
And then you just mix those.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, even with sleeves, doing something like that.
Yeah. Well, some people do. And with the right sleeves, it modestly, reasonably protects them.
But how is this about wasting money?
Well, let's say you go in and, a box of 100 card sleeves is $10. And let's say that is a non-zero amount of money for you. And you buy them and they are bad.
Non-zero amount of money.
Yes.
What does that mean? As in, like,
I mean, let's say $10 is $10.
Right.
And for some people, that's half an hour's wage or an hour's wage or something like that. And it's like you buy it and it's a piece of crap. And there are things defective about it, or it maybe just doesn't do what you wanted it to do because there are different textures, things. There's some where they are not fully opaque, and maybe you wanted it fully opaque and you didn't know. Same thing with deck boxes, ones that might break on you very quickly versus ones that could last years at the same price. And so what I do is literally I have purchased every single product and accessory for standard size trading cards. I honestly believe right now, if we went down to just about any local game store, with the rarest of exception, I guarantee you anything you pull off the shelf, we can type it into YouTube with the word Tolarian, the name of my channel, and it would pull up my review of it. And even if you disagree with my assessment, I review it, I grade it, I do stress tests on it. And even if you disagree with my assessment, you still get to see it out of the box being pushed and pressed and thrown and all of this. And I've played with it for weeks, and I'm telling you what I've seen and what I've found. And if I find more things like a year later, I come back to it and all of that. And then I also just will have a video where I'm like, hey, look, this is what I think the best pack of cards is.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to speak to both you and the audience. I'm going to probably interrupt a lot.
Okay.
So, I mean, no disrespect. And if at any time
that's fine.
You want to finish something, say, hold on.
No, I never interrupt, and you can.
Thank you.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
So
I was doing a bit there where I was interrupting you. That was the joke. I'll stop now.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them. That was worth it. So I have a lot of questions for you.
Please.
So I want to like guide it in a way that might feel controlling, and it might be controlling, and for that I apologize.
What if I like to be controlled? Not that type of control.
I want to know why you started this channel. Not yet what it's become, but why you started it. Because what was your first video?
My very first video was a review of the 4 major card sleeve brands that Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and other standard-sized trading card games. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Is called Japanese-sized cards. They're smaller. Anything that's standard-sized, they have the same dimensions.
Was it like 6x8?
I put, it's funny, 7.5 years, and I never actually bothered to memorize the measurements. I just say standard size.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering, Pokemon. TCG, Flesh and Blood, any of those are all standard size, and any accessory that works for one works for the other.
I'm interrupting. I don't care enough about all the specific things there.
All right.
You make the first
video was a review of those 4.
And how does it go? How
brands.
is it received? This is what, in 96?
No.
96. I'm sorry, 2016?
This was in 2000.
Or you said 7 years ago.
2013.
So 2013, how many views does it get in the first year, would you guess?
In the first year?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it maybe got up to 40, 50,000 in the first year. It started to take off by 1 year. I was doing it regularly. The first video was thought of as a one-time thing. I don't even remember how many views it got. Maybe 1,000 the first week.
What made you want to make it? Because you were looking for cases and nobody gave this review?
Actually, yes. What it was I was very obsessed with my cards staying as pack fresh as possible. I wanted my cards, and I even in high school when I played during Revised, kept them in penny sleeves and binders. I wanted my cards pristine. And so when I bought sleeves, just as a player, as an adult, that would split on me or not do a good
Right.
job protecting the card, I would buy more. And I had essentially bought everything in the store. And I found that people would make like posts on Reddit or other message boards on the internet. And they'd say, what are the best card sleeves? And then that's up there for a day before it's just drops down. And I wanted there to be a source where this is the definitive, anybody who says what's the best sleeve could just be past this video. And I just did it as like, I want to see if I could do it. I was just a creative type. And I just wanted to do this one video where I was like, look, these are the 4 most likely sleeves at your game store. 2 of them are very bad and 2 of them are very good. And I want to talk about why.
And one camera?
One camera.
You teach yourself how to edit it?
Yes, I've never taken a class in editing. I had a Mac, and I don't know why. It had Final Cut Pro on there, and I clicked on it.
That's what I learned on
and
too.
I just taught myself, and I've never taken a class in 7.5 years, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
So I'm going to go in and out of stuff. And
Yeah.
also, I'm repeating myself, but we don't know each other, so I don't know this dynamic, but
Yes.
there's an energy that you have that is very comfortable to me.
Really?
Something that I grew up with, that
Wow.
I like. So I do feel a little familiar. I think I'm crying right now.
Wow.
I do feel a little familiar with you, but podcasting, content creation is an interesting thing because we're having a conversation, but at the same time, I'm saying, watch this to the audience.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a host when I just want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that seems aggressive, like when I said to you, I don't care about the cases. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's not the right way to say it, but I felt safe saying it that way.
I honestly, I would tell you if I didn't like something.
Great.
And I feel very comfortable with you. And I'm not just saying that. I don't just say things. I have alienated a lot of people because I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I might be uptight, but it's still on my sleeve. And I don't believe in baloney and falsehoods and stuff, and I would let you know.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yes.
And let's just make sure we both remember that moving forward.
Yes.
Because, anyway, you have an interesting thing about you that I want to talk about, and it's not going to be a linear conversation
Sure.
now that I'm meeting you. And you're the way I would best describe you is even if you didn't play Magic, you're a magic guy. Does that make sense?
It does.
That's probably why I feel comfortable. There's something
Yeah.
about this that I grew up with. Like my Friday nights was playing with you.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And I don't mean to project. I'm just, I only have so much data. I was a certain way in school that I'm going to assume you might be able to relate to. I'm not sure, but I would love to talk about that a little bit.
Sure. School was torment and misery in the worst days of my life.
Why?
Because I was
Nerd. No, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I was alone. I was paralyzed by fear, social anxiety. There were periods where I could not do anything but look at my shoes.
Because you were a compulsion of looking at your shoes, or because you literally didn't want to look up?
If I made eye contact with people, I would go into a panic. I felt everybody was
Have you been
staring.
diagnosed with anything?
I at one point early on was diagnosed as ADD hyperactive, and I am currently on antidepressants.
What's the antidepressant?
A very mild antidepressant, apparently, but it worked for me.
We'll be right back with a word
Yes.
from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm the professor from Tolarian Community College, and I think it's ridiculous that our society has a sense of shame for mental illness. So there's
Sorry to cut you off, Brian. I just felt like this was a great opportunity to talk about our sponsors, BetterHelp.
Rick, what do you value most about your therapist?
I love that I could message my therapist whenever I want. I stopped going to therapy for a bit, and I started back up a couple of weeks ago. I was having a really hard time, 3 a.m. You were there. Just picture me talking to a dish right now. Sometimes you don't want to go to the gym. Sometimes you don't want to go to therapy. Sometimes you want to be able to go when you want to be able to go. Sometimes you need the extra motivation and have that conversation. That's why BetterHelp's so great. Service is available for clients worldwide. It's much more affordable than traditional therapy. I suffer from insomnia, depression, anxiety.
Nearly everything on the list.
Yeah, well, that's self-esteem. For how great I am, I'm shocked that I can't sleep well and I'm as anxious as I am.
Wait, we should read off all of them and you say yes or no if you have it. Depression.
Yes.
Stress.
Yes.
Anxiety.
Big.
Relationship.
I'm close with my dishes.
Sleeping.
Yes.
Trauma.
Well, is sleeping a thing? Because I sleep 8 hours, but I can't go to sleep until like 4 hours
You
after
have
I go
anxiety
to bed.
about going to bed, and
Yeah.
that's something to talk about. Trauma.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything before I was 30.
Which I think is a trauma.
But all jokes aside, if any of these were jokes, if you watch my podcast, you know I'm a huge believer in therapy, and BetterHelp is an awesome option for you to get involved in it. It's super convenient. It's affordable because therapy is very expensive. So visit betterhelp.com/TYSO to get 10% off your first month. Also, if you do use this service, reach out to me. I'm curious what your experiences have been. Full disclosure, I would love to be able to talk about my listeners and what they've learned from therapy and stuff as I continue to talk about BetterHelp, because I really, really like them and believe in it.
Yeah, and you can join over 1 million people who've taken charge of their mental health.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TYSO. You're a very sweet dish. And speaking of sweet dishes, I would love to talk to you about our other sponsors, HelloFresh. Good transition. All right, so here's the deal. I like to cook. I don't like to go shopping, and I don't like to figure out what I'm cooking. HelloFresh is awesome because I get to pick the meals that I like, not picking all the ingredients. I like the orange chicken. I like the nachos. Whatever it is, you pick your dish, they mail it to you. It's all fresh. It's brought right to your door, and you get 27 different options each week. It's like going to a restaurant and having a different menu all the time.
You're very picky, and I was incredibly surprised that you loved this as much as you did.
I'm a fan of HelloFresh. I'm a user of HelloFresh. They are absolutely delicious. And part of me is like, I don't want to sell you, but I absolutely want you to sell you. In fact, please, go use my promo code and not other podcasts because it helps out. Also, because you're buying in the quantities you need, HelloFresh is 28% cheaper than going to your local grocery store. If you want to get up to 12 free meals and free shipping, visit HelloFresh.com/TYSO12 and use promo code TYSO12. That's HelloFresh.com/TYSO12 and use code TYSO12 for up to 12 free meals and free shipping.
And we're back into bullying, which I was, and it sucked. I wasn't terribly bullied when I was younger. I mean, it wasn't like the sort of like pinned down on the pavement, like punched or anything, bullying, but I was alone. I was thought of as a freak. Nobody talked to me. I spent basically my first 18 years, with rare exception, kind of alone, isolated, sitting in the bathroom during recess and lunch, sitting on the bench during recess and lunch. I had my nose in a book in junior high school years, and magic was the one and only thing in my first 18 years where, when I discovered it and found it, I had a way to interact with other people, because even for a socially crippled, anxiety-ridden person like me, I had an outlet which was, hey, do you want to get a game? Where there was the circle of magic kids, or I wouldn't even have to go up to someone and say, anyone want a game? And then someone would sit down, and then I don't need to, all my fear about how to interact with someone, it was just mountain,
You're
tap,
a planeswalker
lightning
now.
bolt. Well, but it's that I'm terrified I'm doing something wrong, and I still have that anxiety. Like when I walk into a hotel, like I just, stayed at a hotel last night, and I feel very anxious walking in. Like everyone's like, what are you doing here? Are you doing things correctly here? Why are you in here? He's doing something wrong. And I'm paralyzed with that at all times. But with magic, I know I'm not doing something wrong, because the proper thing to do is to put down the land, tap the land if I wish to cast a spell. When you do a thing, I'm doing the proper thing to respond, and I feel a lot of ease because I know that I'm doing the correct thing. But I don't. When I walk into a hotel, I go like this, and I go, excuse me, hi, I'm checking in. I'm checking in is what I'm doing. I am supposed to be here. And
is there a certain set of rules that Magic has that you understand with social rules you don't understand?
No, I'm actually very bad at playing Magic. I'm not like really good at it, but I just find the fact that there is a dance to a game of Magic where it is a pre-established thing that it's very relaxing. Mountain, tap,
You
go.
both have the same. You and your friend or your partner, person across from you. You both are literally playing the same game.
Yes, and we both know the procedure and rules. Whereas if you're
that's what I meant about rules, as opposed to social interactions.
Oh, yeah.
Should I get the door for you?
Yes,
right. My weekend was great. How was your weekend? All of those things.
But then, the funny thing that happens is the more you do that, and then especially as an adult at the game store, in between rounds, you start to think of questions like that. And you can start with, did you see the cards for the new set?
Right.
What deck are you playing? Do you have other decks? Have you heard of this format? And then it turns into, do you like this have you ever tried Blue Bottle Coffee? I'm drinking one. And suddenly you're making friends, and suddenly you're relaxing and understanding it. And I think that is the gathering part of Magic the Gathering. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's what drives me and has gotten me into so much trouble over the last 7.5 years because, it's my driving force. And let's just say there's a game where there's a huge drive to make it digital and distanced and online, a huge drive to make it more expensive and less accessible. And, when I go out there and sometimes...
Before we go back, I want to do more about you, Kid You.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I'll call it teacher's assistant at that time.
Sure.
You... and also, I want to say I'm understanding your point of view on your channel more. I've heard you reference the gathering is the most important part. And just... you're wanting it seems like you're wanting this to be affordable for people and for the gathering to continue because then this is how you have friends. This is how you get to learn to dance. This is how you be with people. So you're a teacher's assistant now, and Magic comes out. When did you start playing? You said Revise, so was that 94, 95?
Yeah, around that time.
So you start playing. School. And what grade is that?
I was in 10th or 11th grade.
So you didn't have many friends. 10th or 11th grade, any friends?
0.
I didn't have many friends, but I also, and I don't remember everything, I don't think I was bullied the way it sounds like you were or I've seen in movies. I just wasn't included in anything.
The further back I go, the more the bullying was. Like in elementary school, it was teasing and taunting.
So like what? You talk funny, you dress funny, you look funny. What kind of teasing?
Something's wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You're a freak. There's something wrong with you.
What do you think that's something wrong with you from a child's point of view who just, them saying there's something wrong with you is them just acknowledging this is something I don't yet understand. So there must have been something different about you.
I had behavioral issues. I did not know how to socially interact. I was one of those kids in like 2nd or 3rd grade where I might decide for an afternoon that I was actually a dog and walk around and bark and stuff because I wanted attention because I was so desperately lonely and I didn't know how to work on the fact that I was so desperately lonely. And so I was like, well, maybe if I bark like a dog right now in class and walk on all fours, I'm getting attention, but it was bad attention. And it's like something's wrong with him. Today I'm a robot actually, and my circuits are breaking down, and I will commit to that hardcore. 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and then by the time you're in 5th grade and you did stuff like that, it just is a loop. Junior high was pretty rough. High school, I went to a gifted magnet, and everybody there was very leave him alone. He's weird, but nobody was really coming at me. They called me Gump. That was my nickname in high school.
From the shrimp restaurant?
No, from Forest Gump.
Bubblegum shrimp.
I was always sitting at the end of a bench, silent, and everyone was just like, what's he doing over there? He's like Forrest Gump.
Do you think this different, weird, nerd, geek, loot... No, I'm just kidding. What if I just started getting like mean things? These things that people were thinking of you as... that whatever character trait you have, that's what I'm like, these are my friends.
Yeah.
That thing that you now older have, I don't want to put words in your mouth that you've accepted or haven't accepted, but you have purpose. You seem to be happier. I mean, I have to imagine you have at least a friend. If not, I would be happy to be one.
I have some friends now, but I don't have many close friends or regular friends. And most of my friends are not in my life in a physical presence because it's only online friends. I do not have.
Why?
I've been locked in my house for a year and a half. I don't have people really in real life that are my friends. I have people that live far away that are friendly with me and that might say they're my friends and that are friends. And I do have some friends. I have friends. I don't have no friends. I have friends. Most of them I met through the last 7.5 years of content creation.
Right.
And
are they creators or are they magic guys or both?
Yes. And
so both?
Yeah, some are creators, some are magic guys, some are magic guys who are creators, and girls and in betwixt.
Nice.
But I don't have anybody that comes over to my house to hang out and have dinner. I don't have anybody who comes over to my house to hang out and play cards. I don't have anybody who calls me up on the phone just to talk. I don't have any. I have somebody who comes over to visit for a weekend and maybe we'll do some content, and then they'll leave.
Well, what is your expectation of a friend? Is it someone who comes over and has dinner? Because I don't have. If I'm not podcasting, I don't even let people in my house. I don't have dinner with people.
Maybe go out to dinner, like, hey, you want to get a bite?
Right. So you want that. There's an intimacy that you feel that you might be lacking.
I don't know. I just don't have anybody like that in my life, really.
Does magic give you? What does magic give you?
It's fun, and I meet people, and at other points in my life, they developed into friendships. If it wasn't pandemic, because we moved up to Portland, and so there were people where we had been that I hung out with, but we moved, and now I don't know anybody in the area, and it was pandemic, and so I was hoping I would meet people at Friday Night Magic and eventually make friends again, because you make friends through doing that, and it's like, oh, you're cool, and it's been pandemic, so there's been no Magic the Gathering events, and so I have not really made any local friends that you can have over for. I'm trying to get I know some people that are nice and I'm trying to have over for a game night, but that's not like a friendship yet.
So I don't want to cross any boundaries, and I don't even.
I have no boundaries. I'm not joking.
I can tell.
I'm not joking.
I think it's important to have them, though. I think it's.
I'm sorry.
No. You don't owe me anything.
That's another joke.
No, but I'm being serious. Because this is very personal to me.
Sure.
I think it's important to have them for two reasons. One, not having them might be a defense for something because you don't want them to be crossed. And two, if you don't know how to play Magic, if you don't have boundaries, it's going to be hard to understand how somebody else plays their boundaries.
Sure.
And I bring this. I'm hesitant because it's not my place, and I don't just mean between you and me. I mean between an audience to me. Look what Rick is. Not diagnosing, but like even suggesting. So I apologize if this is not tact, but have you looked into, are you familiar with the intricacies of what autism is?
I am in the general awareness sense, not in deep study.
Okay. I don't want to make this podcast about it by any means because it doesn't matter why, because I just don't. I will say, and I've mentioned this on my podcast a few times at least, 4 or so years ago, I was diagnosed with ASD level 1, which is commonly known as Asperger's. A lot of people say you can't say Asperger's anymore. There's a stigma to it, so I feel like I need to acknowledge it, but also who gives a shit? People know what Asperger's is. But it's autism.
Yes.
And as a kid, I was a certain way that still very much connect to. Talking with you, definitely. I mean, like I said, I was crying of something that never even happened. And I found my own tools. Your magic is my comedy, and just an excuse to playing a game. And there's rules and deconstructing those rules. And it's no surprise to me now why so much of my comedy is deconstruction, because I don't understand them. So let me make a meal out of it.
Sure.
When I was diagnosed, I was very pleased because, one, here's why. It gave me this is why this was so difficult. And also, it connected a lot of patterns that were unrelated. And with that came a lot of new tools.
Well, I definitely have extreme anxiety and depression, and the antidepressants work, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very lucky because they don't work for a lot of people, or some people struggle to find the right, because we all have our own chemical balance in there, and it's a very, and by damn pure luck, they started me on something really light, and I Googled it right away, and all the comments were like, yeah, they just put you on that. It doesn't do anything. It's just to make sure, this and that. And then they're like, they're going to then go to the stronger stuff. And it worked for my brain chemistry, and the anxiety remained, the depression went away, and I decided to say close enough. And so I still have extreme anxiety all the time. I'm afraid all the time.
As you were saying, when
Yes.
when your guest, when you, which by the way, of course you're going to be sad when the footage doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure anybody could relate to feeling anxious, but that took you over.
I don't believe I was on antidepressants when that incident occurred. I may have been. I don't remember. I definitely have a lot of stuff, but I don't think there should be a stigma about it. If you have the flu, you shouldn't be ashamed. If you have a mental versus physical issue that needs to be worked on, that isn't anything like, imagine being embarrassed that you have a broken arm and you need a cast for it, and it's the same sort of thing.
There's a big movement, and I love it, of mental health and what this means. I've heard the analogy of a broken bone, something chemically wrong. I get that. It's very mainstream. I wonder how many people that I see posting about mental health because it's trendy and or they believe in that moment, versus recognizing something, which is obviously the first step.
Yeah.
And then searching and being active about finding tools to deal with.
Sure.
And again, maybe I'm in the wrong position here, but this is me talking to me as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The things that you're describing of that intimacy, searching it, and lacking boundaries, almost braggadociously, like I don't have the boundaries, which is a cool thing because that's why we're able to be comfortable when we are.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make a meal out of autism when I want to talk about magic. I noticed just like it was kind of sad, like what you're saying is sad.
Yeah.
And I understand the depression. I'm sad hearing it. And I don't know. I'm being defensive by apologizing again, which I guess you relate to for talking too much about this.
No, I apologize as a defense mechanism and as like a show my belly. I do the show my belly thing to people because I am constantly scared. So I'm like, oh my God, please look, I'm going to just literally give you the option to devour me and spill coffee all over myself. I didn't get any on your blanket. I luckily, through years of practice, have gotten it all over myself. So here we are, big nerd.
All right, and we're back from spilled coffee. Everything's good?
I'm just letting blood rush into this leg, and maybe I'm going to do the legs like this now.
That's what I say when I'm trying to get a boner.
Ah.
I refer to my penis as a leg sometimes.
Oh, okay. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on or move back to the first video you made.
Yes.
Because you have you're like 600,000 subscribers.
I currently have 600 to 10,000 subscribers.
And you have something behind you, a plaque that's really cool. I think it's 100,000.
They give it to you at 100,000. You don't get another one till 1 million.
Yeah, they should do a 500.
They should do something. They didn't even. It's so weird. It's like this whole build up to 100, and at 100 they stop talking to you and about you. Like up to there, they have all these little milestones that get ticked, and you get little things, and then it's just like, yeah, whatever. And it's like, hey, I have 500,000 subscribers now, and they're like,
call me at 1 million.
Yeah, call me at 1 million. It's just I need such validation too. I need such a pat on the head. It makes me so happy to get that little pat on the head, and no one gives it to me.
Well, let me acknowledge you and say congratulations on something that's very, very cool.
Thank
you. YouTube is been around for a while. I know it.
Yeah.
I've always used it, but I became a YouTuber with this podcast, and I'm starting to see the power it has, the reach it has. Me have been making videos for so long, and now if I ever post something, at least people will see it.
Yeah.
And I check, and I just got to 50,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And
that's great.
The next milestone is 100, and it's so
you can
exciting.
do it. You'll get that plaque.
And seeing, but the reason I bring it up is I saw that plaque, and I know what that means.
Yeah.
I know how important trophies are.
It's the only thing I ever feel I accomplished, even though I have 2 college degrees, but I don't feel I accomplished those because a college degree is just anybody can get it, but not anybody can get the 100,000 subscribers. If you took the same classes, like followed the path of taking the same classes I took for creative writing, you would absolutely get...
Keep this in front of you.
You would absolutely get your degree. like I did. So
You could move it so you come. I mean, I'm interrupting your. I'm saying go where
Yes.
you want to go.
I want to go here.
Okay, then it's good. But if you want to move over, just move this with you.
All right, we'll do.
Okay.
I just don't feel like my college degrees are much of an accomplishment because anybody who just showed
I
up to
understand
class
that.
would get them. But if you literally tried to just say like, okay, cool, I'll post a video every Tuesday and it'll be about magic, you might not get to 100,000 subscribers, even though it's the same process sort
Yeah.
of thing. And so I feel like that's a real accomplishment.
It is. It's it's also hard. This is hard work.
I work 6 to 7 days a week from morning till night.
Yeah. So I shout out to Perry, shout out to new addition John Michael, huge shout out to Tom. Oh, there he is.
Hi, Tom.
All right, get out of here. And some other people who help here and there, but it's so much work.
Yes.
And even with these guys, I'm still putting in. I mean, I guess on a episode that isn't that much work, still 20 plus hours, usually
sure.
30 to 40.
Sure.
And that's on the production and the post-production side, right?
Yeah.
There's also interviewing somebody and meeting somebody, and for me, having people in my home and asking and getting uncomfortable, and for you, it's your footage not working and you crying and losing a friend because you didn't get an interview, and it's just draining. And then you see your numbers go up, and it's almost like the applause getting louder. And
they literally show you fireworks now when your video is number one out of 10. And I really hate that because it's a psychological manipulation, because then when I have a video that's 10 out of 10, I honest to God feel like I don't want to say walking into traffic. That's a little extreme, but I feel really bad. The antidepressants stop working. And I feel like I am in a and it's so stupid because it's just
don't
10
negate
out
your
of
feelings. Don't negate your feelings. This is a tool that I've learned.
Yeah.
With saying it's stupid. It makes sense. It's
Yes.
just understanding it logically and having that weight be more than the emotional side of it.
By it, I mean me. I don't think I mean, I'm stupid. I think
You're
know.
a very logical person. I've watched.
Sometimes I'm I'm very emotional too.
They're not mutually exclusive.
That's correct. I'm red and blue.
And I watch your videos, and you are a very logical person.
Yeah.
Because here's your opinion. Here's why. I understand it. It's a college, like you call it.
I was a college professor for 10 years.
But I would like to offer you perspective on that one with the fireworks versus the 10, which is the I'm worthless. I'm
still worthless at the fireworks, but it's a much better worthless feeling.
That shit.
You don't like that shit. I do that shit. That's my mechanism.
It's not about not liking it. I understand. I know this language.
Yeah.
I know this language, and I know why you're doing it. Because you feel this way, and if you deliver it as a joke, it's palatable.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
The issue isn't the way you're delivering it.
Okay.
The issue is that's the instinct.
I feel like people hate that about me. Like it must be very difficult to be around.
I bet you it is.
Yeah.
And it's not hated about you and you're difficult. It's just a character trait. I mean,
sure.
I interrupt too much. I fart all the time, and luckily my girlfriend lets me talk and loves a fart.
Okay.
And like you find your equilibrium.
Yeah.
But there's this idea of, take me at my best, or dance like nobody's watching, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Like, we need to find people that accept us, but we also need to understand how we're received, right?
Yes.
And if you feel when a number you post a video, which by the way, this is the video.
Yes.
Like, this is the video, and then you look in the last 12 hours, it's at number 9.
Right.
And you're like, fuck me. That feeling.
Yeah.
You're not only are you allowed to have, you're supposed to have until you're not supposed to have anymore. That's fine. When you feel depressed about it, you got to find your perspectives.
Sure.
I'd like to give you one.
Okay.
I had this when I was on the road a few years ago, and I did a show on a Friday. And when I tell you I figured it out. I figured it out. This show was awesome. I've been working so hard. Stand-up is so hard. And this is a moment now. I'm about to be able to do this. And then the next day I bombed so hard that it was 2 shows. After the first show, the owner of the club came up to me and said, "Would you mind letting the feature?" It goes host, feature, headliner. I was headlining. Mm-hmm. Would you? We would like to have the feature headline and you feature. So they, instead of doing an hour, they asked me to do 20 minutes and had the person do 20 minutes, do an hour. Mm-hmm. I just figured it out yesterday. And now I'm being bumped in a way that I didn't even know that was a thing that happens.
Yeah.
It felt so bad.
Yeah.
The day before felt so good. And I had a realization that I put into place that's very analogous to this, which is bombing and destroying have the same thing in common. Whatever feeling they give you, it lasts for X period of time.
Yeah.
Right? I'm the best, I'm the worst. Eventually, I'm just the guy who's doing something, and your videos are going to average out the way they do.
Yeah.
So when you see that one, that's the fireworks, that gives you that dopamine rush or whatever it might be, no, for whatever reason, this one just did well. It doesn't make me better or worse at what I'm doing.
Sure.
You know, you're evening out the highs and the lows.
Right.
So when you do a 10, it's like, fuck, this sucks. Mourn, feel depressed, whatever it is. But also, literally, it's part of the process. You're supposed to do bad on stage. You're supposed to trip and fall.
Right. Also, the thing about it that's insane, though, is that 10 out of 10 doesn't mean you tripped and fell, because the thing is it's only relative to your last 10 videos, and all of my views and channel is going up. And if I look at a video from literally 3 years ago and how well it performed on day one, it is a fraction of what that 10 out of 10 performed. But it's, you know, like, well, but what I mean is that 10 out of 10 might actually be...
You're doing this.
You know, yeah, it's all kinds of things. Or you just did something different, like you had some Magic the Gathering YouTuber on and nobody tuned in. I apologize for the 10 out of 10 that this will be.
Or I could also apologize for booking a non-comedian on a podcast that a lot of people think comedians. But that's not sustainable. I have posted episodes of this podcast that I was literally embarrassed. When I say embarrassed, I don't just mean posting. I mean for a week. I'm still affected. I was telling you before during the commercial break when I was refilling my coffee and getting you a napkin about how like I've been spinning a bit. I want to be able to post everything because you reach an equilibrium of like, I'm not hiding this thing. I'm not only showing my sexiest pictures on Instagram. This is what it is. So eventually people understand, oh, Rick has his parents on. He has magic people. He has these people and these people.
Right.
I want that because I wanted to meet you. And also, why would I meet somebody if I can't make a video out of it at this point? You know what I mean? Like,
got to monetize it. Monetize it. Are you monetizing that? We should monetize that.
You know, monetizing is a real important thing, and it might be even the most important. But the truth is, I have found something, this podcast, that makes me feel validated. I look at all my thumbnails like trophies. Like, that was 35 hours of work. That was 80 hours of work.
Yeah.
I got to collaborate with this person. We did this. It's so rewarding that I'm addicted to doing it. So now finally, I got to a point a few months ago where I wasn't losing money, and now I'm making money, and I want to make more, and that's great. But this is like, I want to do this. But when fuck. Oh yes. So the 1 and the 10, your videos, it's also arbitrary to the algorithm that enough people clicked on it and blah 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 blah. But also, my podcast is fucking awesome. And I'm somebody who will be the first to tell you, Rick, are you a good comedian? I think there's something special that will come out. But I mean, I have club owners ask me to feature instead of headline. Like when I say that my podcast is awesome, I'm proud of myself because like there's a couple of things I could say that about. The views I get don't match other people's podcasts. Who, my opinion, they're fine.
Yeah,
because the exposure, whatever the thing is, it doesn't mean that if I go on someone else's channel and get 1 million views versus mine and 30,000, this 30,000 doesn't mean I'm better or worse.
Right. That's also a lot. 30,000 is a lot. That's a lot of people.
It's all relative.
Can you imagine 30,000 people on one place? And it's like, oh, here you go. That's $80. It's like, geez. Yeah. That's the thing that's so crazy. It's like, if I get 30,000 views on a video, it isn't even 80,000 or 80,000. It isn't even $80. And it's just like that's just, it's like I got 30,000 people to watch this video and watch your ad, and it's worth, $50 to YouTube.
Now you make YouTube ad revenue, but I also see that you have sponsors.
I have sponsors and a Patreon. The main thing is the Patreon.
Are you comfortable giving me numbers for Patreon?
I can give you. I've had it used against me.
What about how many subscribers you have? Would you tell me that?
My subscribers is 610,000.
No, your Patreon patrons.
Oh yeah, I have. I think about 3,500.
Awesome.
Patrons.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment out of my 610,000 YouTube subscribers to get 0.02 or whatever. I'm an English major. I don't know, but whatever it is to chuck a couple bucks in the tip jar. And I honestly, I have had it used against me, unfortunately, by my enemies on the internet. Please say they're not here today. And no.
No, that's the 69 guy. I don't even remember what his name was at this point.
Yeah, no, don't let him. Don't leave me alone in the room with him. But yeah, it's.
Are you making is your job? This is your profession?
This is my profession. I left academia behind about.
Where'd you teach?
I taught at community college. I was in California, Northern California. I was a full-time part-timer. So in California, they don't want to give anybody full-time because then they'd have to give us things like medical benefits and reemployment assurance and things like that. So they just hire you part-time. And so what you do is you get 2 classes at this community college, 1 class at this community college, 1 class at this community college.
Oh, is that why you're a community college?
Yeah, that's why I'm a community college. That's why I'm the professor.
I thought it was a funny, self-deprecate, like you could have made yourself, of the, like of an Ivy League, and you made it of a community college.
Well, I'm not the Tolarian Academy. I'm the Tolarian Community College. We're not fighting the Phyrexians. We're teaching about card sleeves. That's what we're doing, and that's what I was doing. And I was professor staff because when they give you a class, it's the one that they couldn't assign, and the catalog has been printed. So they go, we know this class is being offered, but we don't know who's teaching it, so we write staff in all caps in the catalog, and then they go, hey, you want English composition at 8 a.m? That's available. Take it or leave it. That's what we have, 1 class. And I go, I'll take it. And so then the students come in, they go, oh, are you professor staff? And it's like, my bosses only knew me via email. No one could recognize me. I didn't attend any meetings.
I want to interrupt you on that because we have only so much time, and
yes.
I get it, and sorry, but I'm interrupting. Something I forgot that we didn't get to was when you saying people hate when you talk about the depressing thing. Do you remember?
People hate when I do.
You said people probably hate that. You were.
I just mean me. People probably hate me.
You're right. So that kind of stuff. I want to make sure that we close that circle and acknowledge what that was because we were talking about like you're allowed to be depressed about the number 10, but there's the kid inside of us and the adult, right? And I think of that as the kid, the emotional part of us,
right,
where they don't like me or whatever, and the adult of like, well, maybe that's either because, well, you don't know that they just had a tough day, or yeah, well, you guys didn't get along well. Whatever the truth is,
my
side.
adult is saying, well, you asked for it. You behaved that way. You did that. You made the mistake.
Right.
You should have known better. What result do you expect?
We need to, and I'm making this a position, at least on this podcast, we need to give that adult new tools.
Okay.
And that is, the first one is acceptance. And what that means is you are, and I mean this affectionately, you're a dork,
Yeah.
I am too. And I've overcompensated with basketball, with comedy, with confidence, so much so that I have bits that are like, you fucking piece of shit, where I'm like aggressive to make a joke. I'm so not that.
Yeah.
That now that's a part of my There's this thing in you that if you came up today, it would be different. Because nerd culture is hot.
Well, and also, when I went to the principal about being bullied, they wouldn't tell me to toughen up, which is what they told me.
Bullied is now being understood as something that is worse than it is. That like it's being acknowledged as like what it feels like it is.
Yeah.
You're being bullied.
Right.
And in a different way, the Avengers are cool. If you have cool, if you have comic books on your wall, you're not a nerd. You're in.
Yes.
But I just don't want to. This is my version of it, of just like sorry or whatever. I'm so passionate about this thing. I've learned so much about it.
I don't consider nerd an insult.
Right.
I'm very proud of being who I am.
But when somebody who doesn't understand nerd culture or does understand it and it's not for them, one might see that as not being accepted, which is I don't want to put it on you, I'll put it on me just because it's easier. If I see somebody who isn't into this, which I have seen many times, there is a world where it's like, I'm not good enough. I'm stupid. I'm annoying. I don't know how to check into a hotel. Nobody likes me.
I know how to check into a hotel.
That's not what I heard. And then the other version is, he's not for me. I'm not for him. Or her. Right? That comes from the acceptance of you will always be a heart on the sleeve, low boundaries, liking magic, seeking this type of affection. You're allowed to.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be depressed about videos.
Sure.
But the adults, the logical side has to be able to say, I'm going on so much, but this is what it is, and this is my podcast. Somebody told me, and I'm paraphrasing, and it's something to do with Buddhism, but it's a metaphor that I put into practice.
Yeah.
The sky is blue, and it's always blue.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes you can't see the sky because of all the clouds.
Right.
But just because the clouds are there doesn't mean the sky isn't. That's a spiritual thing, but taking a literal analogy from that is when I'm feeling this certain way, I'm talking too much now. This is too much of this. I'm feeling it.
It's fine.
Are you sure?
It's your show, man. It's your show. I'm
gonna edit this.
You lead, I'll follow.
No, I'm gonna put this on Patreon or something.
Okay.
And go into magic. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. This is too much of this. I'm just very passionate about this, and it's stuff I've learned over the years that I've told me, and I'm sharing it, and I'm forcing it, and maybe this is weird, and
There's nothing wrong with being weird.
yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm been talking about. I've had to tell me this, and I'm trying to offer that, and I apologize if I'm forcing it.
I feel like I've presented myself poorly.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, about me.
No.
About me.
Me
I mean.
too. You're fucking up my
No,
show.
no,
Sorry,
no.
I didn't mean to swear. But I was just being open about that I'm not perfect and pretty and stuff, and that it's okay too, because I do like myself and I do like the life I have, and I feel very, very happy with based on where I started. Where I am now is amazing, and it's even, I mean, like, I thought my life was over when I was a professor of English. I remember stepping out of the car one day and looking up at the skyline where the bungalow was, and there was like a redwood tree or something, and I thought, I'm gonna be doing these same classes with the same stupid schedule until I'm 60, and this view from where I'm standing now will be identical on that day as I walk in to teach the same literature to another group of people that will come and go within 4 months, and this is it. Take me out of the oven, I'm cooked, I'm done. This is where I ended up. It's nice and stuff, but there's nowhere to go from here, because that's all there is part-time professor at multiple community colleges, and it turned out I hadn't even started, and I don't know. I believe I must have been hit by a car, and this is what a coma is like, and it's awesome, and it is literally the lifelong dream come true. The life that I have, I wouldn't want anything else. All I want to do is, I don't feel I deserve it. And what my viewers have given me, I want to earn it by doing better for them, and I'm driven by that.
Better for them.
Better for them.
What does that mean?
I have yet to make a perfect video, and there's this.
What's a perfect video look like?
One without any mistakes, errors, or things that could have been better, from start to finish, where there's no part for improvement. It's perfect.
Is that possible?
Ask me again in 10 years. I'm working on it.
Do you like comedy?
I very much like comedy.
Do you have any stand-up comedians that you like? Any comedy specials that you've seen?
I like a lot, yeah.
Some of my favorites include
Yeah.
Chappelle, Seinfeld, Brian Regan, Bill Burr, Kevin Hart. Love. I've never seen I've never seen a special where I thought like, oh, these people aren't human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if there's a way to have a perfect video. For example, I would say to make this video more perfect, I would have not gone on this fucking rant that I went on, but I'm going to post it because, like I said,
Sure.
You post the misses too. But I want to know. You were able to get to 600,000 by making imperfect videos.
Exactly. And they're so much better today than they were yesterday. And I've never, my whole life was not about any sort of like actual accomplishment, and it was all about just getting by and getting through and having a job. And now I do things that are special, and I value that, and my reaction to that is I have to respect it to do right by it, and to do right by it is to do a good job for the people who have enabled this, who are the people who watch me, and so I'm not sitting on my laurels. I'm striking while the iron is hot. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to have what I have, to be where I am.
Having the fandom, the audience.
Yes,
you mean?
and the potential, the potential, even if I don't get bigger and better than I am, the potential for it is in itself a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm going to try and do right by the people who have brought that into my life by trusting in me and supporting me. And I have people who say, I've been watching you since day one, and I believe them. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for sticking with me. I will make it up to you. I will bring you something really good. And they'll say, I've loved all this. I'm going to say, I got even better coming for you. I am going to knock your socks off. I will deliver.
What's
I have
the
a video
goal in 5 years? The video is coming out.
Oh no, I have a video coming out this Saturday. That's the one I'm the most proud of ever having done. I never thought of it like that. I do have some really great students.
And they have a really great professor.
Put her there, pal. Put her there, pal.
Just wait till I tell the Gatewatch about this. The last time your name came up, half of us thought you were dead.
What was that?
The brush wagon cousin. They must have overwhelmed the Gatewatch and found a way to cross the plains.
This will come up after it.
Yeah, what's it called? I'll put a link in the description.
Sure. It's called Office Hours Teferi, where the character of Teferi from Magic the Gathering, I don't know, are you familiar with Teferi? Teferi is one of the planeswalkers in Magic the Gathering, and he comes by. I have a series of skits where the planeswalkers visit me, and I'm in my community college office, and they're this mystical, fantastical being, and I'm like kind of giving them a review of how they're going in the storyline, and it's this juxtaposition of my dreary community college teacher life, and they're fantastic. And I'm like, why are you wearing armor, Chandra? If you blast fireballs from 50 feet away, why are you wearing thick metal armor? It doesn't make sense, you know. And we do those kind of we do those kind of things. So I did this one, and this is a cosplayer. I don't know if I should share this, but I was a part of, if not a significant part of, the inspiration for him becoming a cosplayer, and I don't want to. It's his story to tell, not mine. But he did
the character,
the actor.
Oh, for some reason, I was picturing this being, just because I do so much animation, I was picturing it just being animated, and I don't know why I assumed that. That makes much more sense.
Yes, no. This the actor who created the cosplay.
Sure.
And he said, I don't want to tell his story, but he said a very special thing to me about the role I played in that.
Well, what did he say?
I feel it is his.
That's private. Okay.
I feel it's his to tell, not me. But it's very special to me that I had any role at all in anything beautiful, and he is beautiful, and he's a very talented actor. And we had him down, and I hired a writer. I hired some people to help.
How do you hire
cameras.
a writer? What do you do? You post, I need a writer?
No, I know somebody who's funnier and more clever than me, and I say, I'll give you money if I can take your skill and absorb it into my channel by you writing a script for me. Here's some of the stuff I want,
some of the bullet points I'm going to interrupt to ask as far as process. You have this idea.
Yes.
And or you guys have this idea.
No, it's just me.
Okay, so you want to have this cosplayer, and you go, okay, here's what I need. I have my own cameras. I have my own audio.
Right.
I need a writer. I need the actor. I know a writer, and what? You email him? You call him?
Yeah, well, no, it's more of a organic process, because 99.9% of my videos are just me. I do everything. I do all the writing. I do this. So this cosplayer who literally has transformed from a human being into the fictional character come to life before you, standing there, literally as if when you see them in this outfit, like it's them standing there, that character. It's such a moment of the fantasy made real. And he says to me, hey, I would love, I'd love to work with you someday. And I'm like, I'd love to work with you. And I go, can we make this happen? And so we look at our schedules, and I say, okay, you're in this area of the world. I can transport you. America. I can transport you out. I will pay for your plane tickets, and I will pay for your time as an actor to be here. And so we need a script. And so I go, some of the scripts for the comedy skits I've written, but I'm not a professional comedian. And I know someone who's a more professional comedian, not on your level, but on a level more so than me. And I go, look, I want this to be special, and I'm only so talented, and I don't really know for this. So I just DM my friend, and I go, look, how'd you like to write a script for an Office Hours skit? And he says, I would love to. And I go, here are some of the ideas I've had, but I'd love to hear from you. And then he gives me a draft and I say, I love it. And I give him money for his work. And then I go, we've got a shooting script.
And how do you credit in the description?
Oh, yeah. Well, I credit in the episode. I can show you afterwards how I do it. I have it on my phone.
I believe you.
Yeah. I absolutely credit and pay. And then I go, okay, so normally I just set up the cameras like you did, and they're locked in, and I do reverse shot for these skits. But I go, this one's special, and my freaking talented writer friend, he tried to get clever, and he said to Fairy goes like this, and a magic effect happens. And I'm like, God damn it. All right, I know some people who do special effects at professional level.
Right.
And I go, how much can I pay you to make this special effect happen? And we have that conversation.
And it's done, this video?
This video is done. It's going up this Saturday.
So it came out a couple Saturdays ago.
Okay. Yeah. Please check it out. It is, as of right now, the video I am most proud of in the history of my channel.
You know what I want to do? If when this comes out, if we talked about like a video you're proud of, but if it's not doing very well, I want to do a testimonial video of it. But go check it out and comment. TYSO sent me.
Sure. I'll tell. How about this? Well, I'll tell you how many people say TYSO sent me in the comments.
Let me tell you, it's not going to be many. No. Maybe, I don't know. I just did an episode that came out last week or 2 weeks ago with my cousin Teddy, who's been on a lot. He's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And he's a musician, and he has 97,000 or something views on one of his music videos.
Cool.
And he wanted it to get to 100.
Right.
So it comes out as of recording this in a few days. And I did that. I go and I'm just curious what my reach is to get. So that would make me feel really cool if a lot of people did. But you did a video where you talked about, I think it was actually this week's video.
Yeah.
Where you talked about Friday Night Magic and how they used to have promos come out, and they switched from the foil promos, and then they started giving tokens.
Right.
Which was a down move. Whatever lateral move, but down.
No, that was a down move. All right.
And then you said you contacted and or made a fuss, and then they didn't fully reverse it, but they went from token to card. And I'm curious about your position and your influence with Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro. Is it Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro?
These days it is Wizards of the Coast as a division of Hasbro.
And how? Because, hey, I'm the professor. I have a huge audience for Magic people. They are going to listen because I have influence. That's what it is, right? It
is a very tenuous relationship, and it is not a good relationship.
Now, is that new? Because I do know that somewhat recently, this year, there was a feeling that you had, and I don't even know if I heard this from you, but in other videos, and I'm in these chat rooms, of you being passed over from the college. I don't remember exactly what this is. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is this something that you're comfortable talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's they give out, so when a new set comes out,
right,
they let people in the community preview cards where it's the first time you see one of these cards that's going to be in the set. It's a great...
Like beta testing, right?
Except there's not any changes that can be made. They just say, this card, it's like a coming attraction. It's like, imagine if a movie that was coming out said, hey, Rick, we're going to give you the trailer to our movie, and the first place anyone gets to see the trailer to our movie is on your YouTube channel. You upload it and stuff. It's kind of like that.
But exclusive.
But there's 256 cards in a new set. So they give them out to people in the community. And
individual, like you get this card.
Yeah,
so there's 256 people, and you were not even one of 256, is what you're saying.
It's not that many. They don't do every single card because a lot of cards are filler in some ways, or not impressive. But the impressive cards go out, and they give it to people of varying levels.
Are they all influencers with YouTube channels?
There's a wide diversity of very wonderful people of all different levels. Some of them are just awesome members of the community, believe it or not.
What makes an awesome member of the community?
Someone who's positive.
But how do you know? I mean, like, this guy could be. But how does Wizards or Hasbro know about them if they don't have an audience or if they're not on the Pro Tour?
Maybe they are prolific on Twitter, for example, or maybe they have a podcast, and even if the podcast might not be super viewed or listened to, it is doing something that is admirable, positive, a good thing to be there.
But on social of some kind.
Yeah, you're on social of some kind. And then there's big names. They get big names in it. They get little names in it. They get everyone in between in it. And it rotates. It varies. I made a joke about it was that they recently did a set that was set at colleges, and I was not. And it seemed like a good matchup because I have the community college channel, and lots of the cards were called, like one of the cards was called Professor's Warning,
Right.
and it's just like I'm the professor, and I chose to make I probably shouldn't have. I made a joke about it in a video. I thought it was funny, and that's usually why I do my jokes, because I think they're funny. But then it turns out, a lot of people don't have a sense of humor, and people thought
How things are received.
Yeah, there was a little bit of chatter about it. It doesn't matter. It's such a meaningless in the long run of things. It doesn't
Before
matter.
that,
but
was there? You said the beef, the strenuous relationship you have
it's
with.
not a beef. It's a
before
strenuous.
that, though.
We've always had a strenuous relationship. It goes up and it goes down.
How does that mean? Is there somebody you talk to there?
I have a few
Contacts?
contacts, and some contacts have ceased contact, and other contacts have changed the nature of our contact, and other it's evolving. But you must keep in mind that I'm somebody who makes videos, and I say sometimes do not buy this product, it's a bad product, or this is a bad deal, or in the case of those promos, this business decision is bad for the consumer, good for the company, in my opinion. And that is something that they're not necessarily going to want to say, hey, everybody go check out his channel. And that makes perfect sense to me. Some of the things that they don't talk to me very much at all. And lately it's been very, very little. And when I do hear sometimes from them, the things that they maybe are frustrated with both make sense but also surprise me. And I try my best to be as respectful as I can while also having to say to them, I do have a show to do. I do have to be entertaining. I do need to, I believe the term is dunk on you, because you are the corporation and I am the consumer advocate. And sometimes I do need to dunk on you. And I get it. That sucks. It's like a video with 100,000 views where I'm pointing out their failure in an area, or I'm saying don't buy this product, and everyone's saying thanks for telling me.
Well, it's like in Consumer Reports, a lot of times people, when they do it, will say, Samsung sent me this TV,
right.
Or they'll say, by the way, I bought this myself. When you're not being, it's same with in politics when there's
Sure.
people contributing. When they're not giving you the free product.
Well, they don't. There have been rare. They have a couple times. It's been like pulling teeth.
But you'd have to be open about it.
Oh, I'm always open
Yeah,
about it, but the free product doesn't affect my review at all. I don't need a stupid $100 booster box.
That's why people watch your channel.
I don't give a damn about a booster box. I want to get it so I can test it and get the video up in a timely fashion.
You don't need a booster box, because I actually want to take a break because I had a booster box to give you. But if you don't want it, I'll keep it.
I have a lot of booster boxes.
All right, so I'll keep it?
If you would like.
Great. I'm going to keep it then.
Okay.
But I would like to open.
It's a very nice thought, though. I appreciate the thought. It's a very nice thought. I have a lot of product.
I want to say,
yeah.
maybe we'll edit this out. This is something that I wasn't actually. I mean, I have something to maybe give you, but this wasn't it. I want to do that as a joke, so you could be like, "Oh, fuck."
Thank you so much, Rick.
I want to open something that I got. I sometimes do like things I'm collecting, or before I sell something, I share it and show it.
Yeah.
And I just got it, so I want to open it with you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Cool. It's a Arabian Nights box, and you're like, geez,
Are
no,
you
no, no,
kidding
no, no,
me?
no, no.
Okay.
No, I'm saying imagine.
Well, now whatever you show me, I'm going to be like, eh.
Yeah, it's eh.
Why'd you tell me that? I'm going to give you a gift. It's a brand new BMW. I'm just kidding. It's a bus pass.
I mean, that would be 12 BMWs.
Yes. Oh, it's a box.
So I had this idea. I don't remember if I talked about it. I think I edited it out because I didn't want to reveal it before I did it.
Yes.
But I'll talk about it because I want to do it soon, and this is a magic video, so this would be a cool place to talk about it. But I want to. I have a few friends that are professional personalities.
Yes.
That at least played the game, if not play the game still.
Cool.
And I had this idea, and I'd love to invite you, if you're interested in being part of this, I don't know the new stuff. I don't know cards after 2008.
Oh,
I mean,
my.
I know
Okay.
some, but
Yeah.
like I said, I stopped.
Right.
And then I kept playing, but I kept playing with my friends where we just kept
Sure.
our decks. And every now and then
Yeah.
you find something, like that you want to add to it.
Yeah.
And like a Chroma Academy Rector to me is the
Sure.
newer card,
Right.
Because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I know the game then, and I want to play some type of. I want to get like how there's celebrity poker.
Yeah.
I want to do that with draft.
Yeah.
I want to do it with not crazy old or not 1994 old, but I want to do it with stuff like this.
What is it?
Box of revised.
Wow.
And I don't want to open this for obvious reasons.
Right.
But also I want to open this. I want
Right.
to smell these
Now,
cards.
now, was this the gift you were going to give me that I refused? Because I would like to retract that refusal.
Oh, if you said you have a lot of boxes.
Well, but the boxes are like $80 boxes. That's like
originally
an
this was
iMac.
around that.
Well, oh my God, it's my childhood in a box.
This was when you started. I got
That's when I
excited that you
started.
said it.
Yeah, revised was when I started.
Also, shout out to Graded Power. Do you know them?
I do not.
Graded Power. They have these acrylic
things,
cases
yeah.
that are meant for
Magic boxes.
They have them for like starter decks too of the different sizes.
Oh, neat.
But take a look at this and look how nice.
Wow.
This
May
box
I,
is,
may,
man.
May I?
Yeah, of course.
Can I? Yeah.
Obviously,
Wow.
careful, but you could take it out if you want.
I don't. I almost don't want to. I just want to
How
just.
fun would it be to do draft with that?
Not very, because it wasn't designed for draft, and it would be a pretty miserable experience. And I have done that before.
You've drafted right?
I've drafted revised once.
Because I was thinking I would
It's
maybe
not
wanted
fun.
because there's not a lot of creatures.
For myriad reasons. This was not designed for that process.
Yes.
It is a grindy, sloggy sort of experience. You do it because of the experience that you're doing it, but the actual gameplay will suck.
So what do you think about this? Because I was thinking about that specifically because of the creatures.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it might be fun to have 3 packs and do Mirage, Tempest, Revised.
Sure. So, you could also do like a Chaos draft where you have 36 different sets where you have a pack from each set, and there are all kinds of things you could do.
But there's
yes.
me wanting to stick to I want it to be packs that I used to buy. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think that's a beautiful goal. I'm simply talking from a gameplay standpoint, and I think that would be a beautiful, wonderful experience of nostalgia and joy.
Would you ever be interested in being part of that if we open up some packs?
I absolutely would be.
Great, because draft doesn't.
I'll just start ripping this open.
No. You said you didn't want it.
Well, I just meant I'll just rip them open and see what's in it.
I want to open them so bad.
Really?
Dude, the smell.
I wanted to. Yeah. What? Can I ask what you paid for this, or is that not okay?
Yeah. I will reveal the price, but I would love for you to guess. Also, I want you to know this. Even though I'm planning on opening it for draft, it matters to me when I buy a box.
Yeah.
That the box is good.
Oh, yeah.
And that box is not.
It's in great condition.
It's not straight out of a case. When boxes, when they're delivered to Game Store or whoever buys them, it's usually 6 or so boxes.
Yeah.
And some people have from like 25 years ago still in those cases. This is not that, but it's beautiful condition.
$3,000 is my guess.
You have not been paying attention to the
no,
boxes.
it's gone
here.
up. How does
Oh,
it?
dude, it's. Do you know about you? See, you're not so much
Just
in the
tell me
investing
the
side.
price.
15.
You're lying.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
I want to tell you about what happened to Magic since January.
You paid $15,000?
Well, kind of. I sold other cards for it.
Sold your car for this? Jeez.
No, cards. Oh,
your
you're joking?
car. Your car?
So-
you sold cars multiple for this. Okay.
Starting
Wow.
December of last year.
Well, I really want to thank you for the gift.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
I'm going to start ripping it open.
Well,
right
wait
now.
a second until we're off camera and I can reveal everything. When December of last year, cards started going crazy. As crypto went up, the
Right.
cards went up. So I had this binder of cards of things that, like Chains of Mephistopheles and
Right.
Force of Wills, things that had some value, but nothing crazy. Like a Chains in mint condition is going for $700-800 now.
A lot of that is also due to the surge in popularity of the old school format.
You're not talking about A40, are you? I just found out about that.
It's related. There's other formats like that, but basically there's a popularity in playing only with the old cards. There's several different unofficial formats that people are getting around. They're all under a kind of umbrella term that you can just call old school. They've, it's like 96, 98, whatever.
Right.
There's all different criteria, but it's made it so that when you're only playing with the old cards, the rule is you can't use reprints from new sets.
That is like A40, but it's
all
not
the
just
cards.
alpha.
It caused all the old cards to just surge.
Yeah, I knew that was alpha. I didn't realize that. That makes more sense.
It wasn't the only reason. It was a factor in many.
I attribute it to cryptocurrency, to be honest.
Sure.
But the prices kept going up, and I wanted to get one while it was still possible, and that is a little... I just figure I might be able to make money by doing this draft thing, so it's operational cost.
Right.
And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I then went through my binder. I sold 60% of my binder, which
Wow.
I thought I was going to get what you were guessing. I thought I'd get $2-3 for it.
Yeah.
And I was able to get over $10,000 for it.
Wow.
So I feel like I traded those cards for this, if that makes sense.
Nothing that, it's so funny. I have an enormous Magic collection, and I have nothing approaching that because I personally feel uncomfortable with cards that are worth too much and never acquire them. Almost all my cards are cracked from packs by me, and I don't hang on to things as they get more expensive. And I have some revised dual lands is probably about as expensive as you get. One or two other floating cards.
Do you know
nothing.
what a 9.5, a BGS 9.5?
I don't do any of that stuff.
They're selling for $1,000 revised duels now.
I did not know that. They're ones I cracked, and I'm trying to complete a play set of each because I had that in high school and I sold
Really?
it. Yeah, I had a play set of each in high school and I sold it for $10 a pop, which I was just like, because I'm like, adults don't play Magic. I'm going to get $10 a dual land,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm getting $300 something or whatever it came to. And my friend was like, don't do it. And I did it. And so now I have slowly through things like the time I was invited to a revised draft and some other things.
You literally played a revised draft.
I literally played a revised draft.
Oh, so you know from firsthand experience.
I cracked a couple dual lands in that
Nice.
draft, and then someone else cracked one, and I said, if you would like to sell that, I'll buy it because it's been cracked by you, and it's like from a pack. And
What does that mean? Because you're like the celebrity who opened it type of thing?
No. I said it to them. I want to get 4 of every revised dual land. I do not have them currently, and almost all of them are ones where I
understand.
opened them
You witnessed
myself in a pack, or somebody near me did. I don't want, so they're in good condition. They came from the pack, and they're in my deck or they're in my folder.
Why'd you say you don't do? When you said you don't do you mean you're against, or you just
I'm
don't?
not against it. I have no
grading?
objection to it. I'm just not personally interested in it, and I don't have a personal interest. And I don't talk about things I'm not personally interested in on my channel because then I don't know what I'm talking about. I only talk about where my passion is. I have nothing against it. I think that there is nothing wrong with that. I think that if Wizards of the Coast had a better policy about the way in which they reprint cards and how they distribute those reprints, that there would not be any ability of the quote-unquote MTG finance community to destroy people's access to the game. I think it's much more tied. It's all a beautiful tapestry, of course, but I think it's much more tied to that Wizards of the Coast does want cards to be worth a lot of money. It adds something to the game on their end. It's their printing money, and they like that, and they do have a control over how cards are distributed and how they are reprinted, or if they never are.
Yeah, you have an opinion on which I thought was interesting on the reserve list.
Yeah,
being allowed to be reprinted, but keeping art a certain way, so you still get the gameplay of the card. It's just the exclusivity of the art.
I honestly believe that if Wizards of the Coast reprinted the dual lands in here with brand new art and a new border, and they pledged they would never use this art and border again or anything like that, while these might go down in price, I don't think they would be worth $10 or anything like that.
I think it would take a huge hit from the dual lands.
Yeah.
I mean, fetch lands are very expensive still.
Yes.
And there are other ways of giving like when the Lotus Petal came out, there are other ways of giving not exactly what these vintage cards gave, but a good taste of it. Mm-hmm. I look at Magic cards and the format of the business model very similar to a shoe company like Nike, which is they're printing money, their costs aren't high, but there is a secondary market that gives a prestige and excitement and brings in multiple people, including big money, which brings big attention, which also brings money.
I think there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. But really
reprinting a dual land makes me, the consumer who's been in this since the late 90s, feel lied to and cheated on, and I have made my decisions based on these rules that, for better or worse, they are the rules. So now all of a sudden they're saying, by the way, you get to draw 8 cards. So, well, that's a new game now.
Well, they've actually made many revisions to the rules of that nature over the years, from mulligans to ante to damage on the stack.
It's a bad analogy because it changes gameplay, doesn't change incentive and intention behind the game itself. Like if
they've made revisions to the reserve list over the years, there were times where they changed what cards were on and off of it. So, they've done that in the past.
That's why it might happen.
It will not happen. I wish it would happen. I believe strongly it should happen, but...
May
I? Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh,
no,
okay. Sir, please.
I'm sorry.
Please, just be careful.
Sorry, I got so aggressive with you. Man, it's beautiful.
If I were to, let's say that all this footage were deleted, there's no one else in the house with us right now, no one would know. Yeah, no. You've got that box opener, right?
Yeah, no one would know what.
Can I see that box opener?
Take a look.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually while I'm using this to promote Wolverine, who I'm a huge fan of.
Wolverine box cutters?
The strongest there are.
Yes.
I want to show you and the audience. I've talked about it before, but I'm a collector.
Yes.
And I love cards, and I've started making them.
Cool.
And I have Take Your Shoes Off trading cards. And the first one that came out was Wolverine and Hulk. 180 and 181 was the first appearance and full appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah.
I see them together, and my mascot is a goblin.
Yeah.
So this is the Rick and Goblin. I am Wolverine and Goblin is Hulk.
Oh, very cool.
Shout out to Scott Hepburn. I'll put his Instagram handle here, who's the artist for it.
That's foil and everything.
Yeah, and just came out with the Blake Griffin, who's a basketball player. I don't know if you know who he is.
I do not know.
Him is Colossus. I'll put up the picture here. But I just think that's cool.
That's really
Isn't
neat.
That cool?
Yeah, it's very cool.
We might have to make a professor one if you're up for it.
I'm absolutely up for it.
What would be, do you know Marvel DC comic book universe stuff at all?
I'm so out of it. I'm hopeless. I live under a rock. And I have seen, I never saw a Marvel movie until a few years ago. And then I watched a Marvel movie. And I've now watched several of them, but I'm very just out of it. I do have a cursory understanding of the characters.
Well, it would have to be a professor, some type of professor.
Oh, would it have to be a comic book character?
Well, so I don't want to reveal too much. There's different editions that are going to be coming out right now. That format is the 1991 Marvel. It's that's what
I don't know it. I don't
like.
know it on that level. I was never much into, for a nerd, I was never much into comics. I never got into comics or stuff like that.
I was into Turtles and X-Men, not comics, the action figures.
Yes.
Do you play with action figures?
I did play with action figures. I had a lot of the teenage. Were you from I was born in 79.
84.
84. So you're
1984 today, actually.
Okay. We're today? It's your birthday?
I'm saying
happy birthday.
Today I was born 1984.
Today you were born in 1984. So it's your birthday.
Technically it's not, but
Yes. I'm not following you, but that's okay.
I'm making a joke that I actually just did this joke on the Nikki Glazer episode.
Oh dear!
But it is.
Did they get it?
She couldn't. She lost her fucking mind when she heard it. But it's so people say, how old are you? I say 36 today.
Yeah.
And they go, today's your birthday? I go, no, today I'm 36.
I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get it. It's very droll.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like droll humor. It takes me a minute, and then I can think about it for a bit and go, oh, that's funny. That's funny.
It's a droll joke. It's a droll throwaway.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. That's like saying, I don't love you anymore, but I don't love you any less, to your wife or parent. I just want to let you know I don't love you anymore, but I don't love you any less. And then you tell that story to your, like friend about why they left you and stuff. And you're like, they didn't have a sense of humor about that.
I have a friend, Aisling Bay, who's also been on the podcast before. She talks about how guys, when liking women and funny women, and how I don't remember what the joke exactly is, but it's playing on having a sense of humor. Like, she's not funny, but she has a sense, just a little sense of humor. So whenever I hear that now, I always think of that joke. It's just like, just a sense.
Yes.
There was a joke in The Office too that Steve Carell, Michael Scott made about, I wouldn't say I'm superstitious. I'm stitious. I'm regular stitious.
Right.
I want to know what you and also I just realized I had my retainer on the whole time. Who gives a shit?
That's cool that they called it The Office 2 because it was the second.
It was the
series.
second series.
There was
Yeah,
a joke in The Office 2. I never knew it was The Office 2.
that's why season 2 is The Office 2.
Yeah.
Which that's why
I always wondered about that. For a while, I thought it was this 22nd season. I was like, damn, that show was on for a long time. But yeah.
No, 2.
2.
I want to know about your relationship with Rudy from Alpha Investments?
Oh, yeah. So Rudy came along and he and I just started talking. And I was answering some questions about YouTube, and I was asking him some questions about his channel. And we chatted, and we do very different content. But I think that behind the content, just as creators and things like that, there is a common ground. And I don't know, we've hung out, we text sometimes.
Do you live in the same state?
No, not even close. And
how do you hang out?
Like, there used to be these things called magic events where people would fly from all over the world to, and he would be at some and I would be at some, and so maybe we'd go get some lunch or do something like that. And we've kept in touch over the years. He had an incident where he was the victim of I believe one of those phishing scams, something where he clicked a link accidentally and they got access to his YouTube channel, and he could not get access back from YouTube. And I reached out to anyone. This was when he was a lot younger. He has a very big base, but back then it was still growing, and I had an established base. And I reached out and said, if there's anyone who knows anyone at Google, he's lost his channel. And somebody was like, you know what? I actually work with Google, and let me call him up, and I was able to play a positive role in him regaining control of his channel, and so that was a good thing. I've got a box signed by him as a thank you that he wrote. Yeah, Brian, thanks for being and helping out and stuff. It's a Magic Origins or something. It was the set at the time, I think. So with Magic Origins was going on. The box doesn't matter. What's nice is I have it up and it's look, and I think of him, and it's like, yeah, it's nice that we can do good in the world, and they're good people, and it was a beautiful little coming together, and he got his channel back and stuff like that. And so, sometimes we disagree on things like, I don't know. I don't actually think we disagree that much. I think our presentation style's a little different, maybe. Yeah. And I think our goals are a little different, but I don't, sometimes people are surprised that we get along, and I'm surprised by that. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't, like for a moment ago, you said you don't want the reserve list to go away. And I said, I do. I don't care to a level where I'm like, God, I can't believe I'm sitting here doing this podcast with someone who disagrees with me about magic cards. Yeah. Like, to me, that's just the most ludicrous thing in the world. And so I just, it's like, yeah, Rudy's doing his thing. I don't agree with everything he says, and he doesn't agree with everything I say about magic cards. And so it's just fine and stuff, and we chat, and every now and then I'll just send him a text, hey, did you see this? And he'll send me a text, hey, did you see this? And every now and then I spoke to him on the phone about Flesh and Blood is a game that he's into, and he was like, oh, you getting into it, let's chat and stuff. And that's another example. Like, I like playing Flesh and Blood, he likes collecting Flesh and Blood. I don't see that as like this. I think viewers sometimes imagine things as being larger polarizing forces than they really are. It's like, I can still get lunch with the man and stuff. I guess I've I mean, we're not like buddies or anything, but we talk.
Sounds like you're buddies.
Yeah. I mean, if that's your definition of buddy, sure. Yeah, I'd say buddies. Like, however you want. I'd like to be buddies with a lot of people. I'd like to be buddies with you. Like,
I think we are buddies.
I think we are buddies.
If I could change your tune on the fucking reserve list.
Yeah, well, I can't even continue to sit in your presence if you feel
that way. Well,
it
was nice meeting
about
you.
Cardboard.
Thank you so much.
Well, I wish I could say the same, but the word nice just won't come out my lips.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them.
Meeting you.
No, now I'm starting to like this guy.
Oh.
This guy ain't so bad after all. I like what Rudy has to offer. And I guess you. I say I guess you only because Rudy.
Thanks.
I say because Rudy was the one who introduced it to me.
Right.
But what Rudy did, and what you do, but I found you second, is I like that Rudy brought me back into magic. Whether I like or agree or disagree, it's like I'm watching magic content.
Right.
And that brought me to YouTube Magic, which brought me to you. And agree or disagree, I'll tell you what it is at the least. And I know people say this about podcasting in my podcast. You put it on and you do whatever. Like I will put some of your videos on and there's video to video and I'll listen to something. Something I'm busy. It's in the background and
Right.
it's comforting.
Right.
And then, sometimes when you come and you sit, that's what Rudy was for me for a bit. And that's when I started getting back into it. And I'm in these magic Facebook groups. I actually did a friend of mine's podcast, Bert Kreischer, who we talked. Coincidentally, I came from his house from the post office where I bought a few. I'm collecting some beta commons, highly graded beta commons. And
Cool.
and I had some and I opened some and I was showing it and I explained what it meant. And I felt that thing that we both kind of experienced during this, which was me more so, which was, oh, sorry, I shouldn't be. But he, for whatever reason, and he's not a magic guy. He was interested.
Yeah.
And now I'm
That's
nerding
cool.
out about it. And they took a clip of that and it I don't know what, it's maybe 70, 80,000 views, but for a clip of that of magic, when it's not magic community, it went relatively viral for the genre.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of people have a similar story where they are aware of magic or they played magic in their youth, and it's a lot more fun as an adult with disposable income. And a lot of people come back, and I bet a lot of people maybe in you getting into magic, and maybe people come and listen to your podcast because they're not that into Magic the Gathering, and they're not listening to you because of Magic the Gathering, they're listening to you because of comedy and wit and philosophy and entertainment and all those wonderful things. And then you say, oh, and I love magic, and they go, oh, shoot, I played that in high school.
A lot of people said, I never thought of a world would collide like this.
Yeah. And it's like, I bet a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I totally played Magic in high school. Maybe I wasn't foolish to sell off the cards and they're still in a box in the closet and that's $10,000 sitting in there because some of those old cards are worth quite a lot. And it's, it is. And stuff. So it's, or maybe they just saw people playing Magic and were always curious.
Yeah. Or it seems like it's a lot of people that it's not Magic, but it's Pokemon, or it's something to where we're talking about collectible. The same way I said about Rudy. It's like, oh, look it's in the zeitgeist again. Or it's in the zeitgeist I didn't realize, which might be a contradiction. But I bring that up because on it, I had been dealing with, I used to buy and sell on eBay. It's how I paid bills for a bit. I would collect and I would sell, and it's how I bought this box, and I'm sure I'll be selling, and that's just what it is. Well, not so much anymore because I have a job. But eBay is great. Because of the obvious reasons. It's a marketplace with exposure to find things. You have a history of previous sold items that usually is accurate enough if you could get a sample of enough sold. But where it's difficult is when there's items, like something like a box of revised or unlimited power or something where not that many things are selling. It's hard to find. And there's big premiums because people are saying, I'll sell this Black Lotus for $200,000 because PSA 9.5 sold. It's like you're asking too much. So my childhood local game store, I went home for Thanksgiving last year, and I'm looking for certain cards, and he told me about these Facebook chat groups. And this is what I was talking about Bert's podcast, was I go into these Facebook groups, and who uses Facebook? I do now, but if it weren't for this, I don't use it. It's a great tool for communities to have this online lifetime bulletin board with images, conversations, direct messaging, posting, marketplace. So I'm in these groups and I am new. I used to play. I haven't dealt with this in a while, and I'm considering buying a 5-figure, magic item. I'm going to have some questions, and I'm asking questions, and I'm trying to understand the lay of the land. And also a lot of people on these groups, they do PayPal, friends and family. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
When you buy something from the PayPal, you pay a 3% fee, but then PayPal protects you. A lot of sellers, to save 3%, or so I don't have to pay that extra 3%, just friends and family, it's fine. You could trust me.
Right.
The way they get around that is there's these these things where you could say he's dealt with these many people, references, but it's still scary. You're sending someone $10,000, $15,000 first. So I have questions.
Right.
And people thought that I was trolling because I asked so many questions.
Right.
I started to get some messages that were annoying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my name because I don't want people knowing it's me from this podcast, because I was getting messages from all over the place. I didn't realize that, but then it made it look like I'm now this fake guy who changed his name. And I could appreciate that looking at
Sure.
it from, in my head, who gives a shit what the name is? I get that now.
Yeah.
But before that even happened, before I changed the name, I was getting bullied in this room.
Wow.
Bullied in a way to where, like I even said, in high school and middle school, I wasn't included, but I wasn't bullied. This was name calling, harassment, making fun, people laughing at it. And at this point in my life, okay, like none of it got to me because it's just being heckled by people that don't. This is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Until it kept happening, and I actually wanted answers to my questions, and then it actually started to be like, "What the fuck? Why are you guys so fucking mean?"
Yeah.
This story is okay? Is this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I feel like I want to put a disclaimer. The community isn't bad. There's a few people in it
Sure.
that were just, those were the active ones. But still, that's what, if 80% of my engagement are 7 people in this room of 8,000 people, that's my, right? So I even said, as an adult, like, you guys realize you're bullying me, right? Like, are you unaware of what's happening, or is this your MO? And then it's got something, and I guess there was some beef between this room, and a couple of people got kicked out of a room. And
wow,
I'm talking about this on Bert's thing, and I got some feedback back from people. I was surprised. A lot of people in those rooms, I guess, found it.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Good for you." And some people were like, "Well, it's not all bad." And some people were like, all different things, as any politic, as I'm sure you do with reserve list stuff. And I realized, oh, there's a lot of drama that's going on that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
So it was what it was. I ended up making friends in these rooms. I bought stuff. I've sold stuff. I've traded stuff.
Right.
And now people realize, oh, this guy actually, there was this, it blows my mind that this is what it was. It was, a lot of people thought, this is what I've been told, a lot of people thought you're too Hollywood and you were just researching a role. First of all, what am I, Daniel Day-Lewis? What are you talking about? Second of all, who cares if I'm researching a role? If I want to buy something, I'm buying it. And why is that a problem? Hearsay. Point is, it got to a point to where I had to step away for a little bit. I'm feeling myself telling too much about this drama stuff.
I make sure that I buy and sell a lot of stuff. There is no possible way that you can connect my buying and selling to me, as in the professor, Tolarian Community College.
Yeah, I need to start doing something different.
I do so for, I think, very different reasons. A lot of people, like, because I open cards on the channel,
right,
and I sell them, and I really do sell them, and they're like, "Where's your, TCG Player store, your eBay page?" And I'm like, "Not a chance will I."
Why?
Okay, because
I also want to say,
yeah,
I've bought. I haven't bought that many things. But thinking if that becomes a thing, that's a great idea.
There's a positive reason and a negative reason. The positive, which would you like to hear first? The good reason, the positive that people are good, or the negative that people are bad reason?
Whatever is the least of the two.
The least of the two is that I feel that a lot of people, if they know it's me, will be inclined to be more generous than is fair out of good spirit.
Wanting to sell you at a discount because they're a fan.
Right. So if they're like, "Oh, Prof, you're buying this, listen, I'll just send it to you." And I'm like,
right.
No, please, I don't want you to do that.
Right.
This is me buying it for my collection, not for the channel. No. I don't want that. Like, I want you to get your money. I'm not looking for that. And there's so many people out there, and they're kind and generous, and I will let you know if I want to need
I understand.
that. Yeah. The negative one is the reverse of that, which is called,
I bought this. Money.
I bought this from, well, it's more like I bought this $50 card from Tolarian, and it's dinged up, or they'll ding it up and claim it's dinged up.
Right.
And then, like, I don't want some Reddit post being, "I bought from the professor and the card said near mint, but it's actually played," or
right.
I don't want, or it didn't arrive, and I'm this, and I don't want anything like that. And I'm just, so both ends of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Both ends of that. It's called, you know what? When I buy and sell cards, there is no connection to me in even a conceivable way. There is no way. It's just an account that has no association in the slightest for buying and selling my cards. And that's how I like it.
Well, there are things that I've bought and people that I've bought from or traded with, I guess technically at this point even sold too, that I like. Like, I actually want to give a shout out to one of the guy's companies that I'm not friends with them, but I like this guy, and I want to show you because it's where I keep my beta comments. It's very cool. This is not an ad by any means. I bought it from the guy before I knew who he was.
Sure.
But the reason I say this is because it's cool knowing who the people are so you could share this stuff. So part of me wants to be open and have people on my podcast, and it's called Collectible Cases. I've showed this before. I have a video of a box that I bought. I'll put it in the description of when I bought an antiquities box.
Yeah.
This box of cards, a big part of me doesn't want to say the price, but also it's unbelievable what these cards are worth. I was looking to buy one for a bit, and end of last year, December of 2020, these were going for $30,000. And I ended up, and I think I got a really good deal on them now, considering how much these individual packs are worth. This cost $57,000 for this box of cards. That was $180 when it came out. 60 packs. Wow, look at this. Is a beautiful box. Look at this. I revealed this basically, but it's a cool video. But look at this. Isn't this awesome?
That's very cool.
And it just has all your graded cards and stuff in it. But this guy, I bought this case from, and I'll put a link in the description if you like this. They have them for comic books and any collectible. He had, I believe, and I'm not saying his name, so I guess it's fine. I don't think it's private. Is it private? No, it was on a Facebook chat room. He had the number one, and maybe has, the number one BGS graded complete beta set.
Wow.
And so here's a guy that's selling these cases that's cool. And now I'm just like, he's sending me, that's why I watched Rudy. I get off on people opening packs.
Sure.
He's sending me pictures of this stuff. And how many his BGS 10 Sarah Angel. I always had a thing for Sarah Angel.
Right.
I remember as a kid, I was playing, shout out to Justin Lazarek, who still brings this up, by the way, 20 plus years later. We were playing, and my mom used to buy me Snapple, kiwi strawberry Snapple.
That was my favorite flavor of Snapple. I
loved.
That was my favorite flavor of Snapple.
She would buy a 6-pack maybe once a month. You save these things. You don't just give them out to your friends. Justin wanted a kiwi strawberry Snapple. Looking back, I should have given him the Snapple, but we're kids. I gave him the Snapple for Sarah Angel.
That's hilarious.
4th edition. The Sarah Angel at the time was at the store sold for $5 or maybe $3. A kiwi strawberry Snapple, in a vending machine is $1.75. But he still brings that up. How I have his Sarah Angel.
Yeah. What would have been even funnier is if it had been something like a card that really went on to be valuable. That he's like, the card's $1,000 now.
At this point, I would have had to give him a commission if I sold that.
Yeah.
But a 4th edition Sarah Angel, I have no idea. But I bet you it's worth less than $5 now.
It's not worth that much. 4th edition.
Hear that, Justin? You owe me a Snapple. I'll get you a Sarah Angel. But I like
that's really cool
knowing people, and like you said, in a similar way, I have made magic friends.
Yeah,
and I want to.
I do too.
And the rooms are great, and it's a great community to be a part of. But I guess just to put an addendum on what I said on Bert's podcast, in case anybody got a negative vibe, just know what you're getting into. There are mean people
on the internet. I have not experienced this.
Collectors are a certain kind of mean people who, my hypothesis is, they've all been bullied. They've all felt something that we have felt.
Right.
And then they are in a position of, I now have the cards. I have the community, whatever. They're resentful.
Do you want to know my theory?
Yes.
Some people are just dicks.
Yeah, but it's
some people are just jerks.
It comes with trauma. It comes with conditioning.
Some people are just. I lived in China 2 years. People always asked me, "How is everybody and what's it like?" And I'm like, you know what? Some people are jerks and some people aren't. It's just there's some people are jerks and some people aren't.
There's a fostering of positivity in the magic from my experience in the collectibles, most so magic in person that is very different online.
Yeah.
It's almost like when somebody in front of you cuts you off when you're driving.
Right.
You're like, fuck that person. But as soon as they go like this.
Yeah, you're like,
okay. Come over.
I got the wave. I got the wave.
Come over.
I got the wave.
Listen, I've cut off. It was an accident. We acknowledge each other.
Right.
Online doesn't have the wave.
Yeah.
You have to go out of your way to wave online, And
that's funny.
And it gave me a sour taste with magic for a little bit at the beginning of the year. And I'm talking to somebody online and I'm seeking positivity from magic because I don't want it to be resentful. I don't want to be resentful of it. And somebody suggested you. That's how I found you. I said, I watch Rudy, and not that that's positive or negative. That's just more about like keeping me involved in the culture.
Yeah.
And then he mentioned you, and I found you. And that's when I asked you to come on because there's something of, I was friends with you in middle school, in high school, you know what I mean? And there is, I enjoy your channel very much.
Thank you. That means a lot. I'm still shocked. It's hard for me to believe anybody actually watches it.
I'm the exact opposite. I still can't believe that 1 million people don't watch mine.
Yeah. No, like I absolutely understand that I have 610,000 subscribers and that I get 2 to 3 million views a month. And then honestly, and I'm being completely honest with you here, as you said earlier, like I watched this video, I felt this little like, he really watched one of my videos.
I feel that way when a guest tells me they've seen an episode of mine.
It's just like wild.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Because we work so hard and we want people to see it. And when somebody sees it, especially somebody who's in front of us and able to wave, we're like, awesome.
No.
The opposite of that is something I felt and good for me for feeling.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was the principle was somebody saying, such and such reposted your video, or here's what it was. It was I think it was about advertising, about somebody not liking that I started putting ads on.
Right.
And it was like, don't you want us to want to watch this? Or you should be thanking us for watching this instead of making us watch the ads or something.
Oh,
and it was like, first of on the humble, which exists.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and appreciative that you guys watch. I mean, it's I could pay some of my bills because of it now.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
At the same time, you're not doing me any favors. I am busting my ass to give you free content.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you are enjoying my craft, but don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. You should be thanking us. You should be thanking me, motherfucker. I'm doing this not for you in particular, but for an audience. So it's a back and forth of being appreciative, but also like,
I don't know,
does that
Rick.
make
I
sense?
feel like I should be thanking my audience. Every single one who goes to my Patreon and contributes. I am so grateful, and it is I who appreciate them. And it's interesting that you have such a different stance to your viewer base, but they mean a lot to me.
Not only do I get your game, I love your game, and I'll raise you if you're not a Magic the Gathering player and you think you might not be interested in his channel, give it a shot, because it really isn't just about Magic the Gathering. You are a character, man. You are a personality. It's what attracted me to you. And people who listen to that you don't have to know all the rules of the game. Each of your videos are titled in a certain. This is why. What happens when professional tournaments go away, and why you shouldn't buy this, or why you should buy this, or reserve list. I want you to keep it, but here's the reason why. It's not what you would think. It's interesting, and at the least, you put it on the background. You do your dishes.
Absolutely.
But my channel, you should be fucking thanking me.
Wait.
Hold on. Also, you're sitting there for 90 plus minutes. Give it a thumbs up. Comment, Glassman has a huge cock for the algorithm, so it goes up. Thank me by buying, hold that up to camera, my TYSO collectible cards by visiting rickglassman.com. Jesus. Also, a little, at some point, I don't know if I'd start a new, you can put it down.
No, I'm just confused about something.
Go ahead.
You're on YouTube or something? You're on YouTube?
Hilarious gag.
Yeah.
Also, what I think, I don't think I want to start a separate Magic channel, but I do love talking about Magic on this. So I want to do draft. I want to invite you back when I do it.
Yeah.
But it'll be on this channel. It'll be part of the Take Your Shoes Off Productions, but
sure.
It won't necessarily be a podcast. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to wrap it up because time, it's just, it's time to wrap it up. But I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a real blast.
Good. I don't know new Magic, and I'm not sure how much I want to learn new Magic because who has the fucking time?
The thing with Magic, as with all things, is that the goal is that you are happy and enjoying yourself, and like just like how I'm not personally into graded cards, doesn't like I was smiling when you took that out because I could see in your eye how much pleasure it brought you and how much joy it brought you. And now me personally, I don't keep my cards that way. But I was just so happy that you were getting that joy. And so with Magic, there's no wrong way to play a game and have fun. If you're having fun, you're doing it right. And I hope that my channel helps people find, because sometimes people don't know how to find the thing that will give them joy. Which format should I play? Which style? Which cards? This, and that maybe our conversations and our things that we do on my channel can help them. But all I want is that look that you had in your eye. I saw it when you were looking at those cards. And all I want is everybody everybody to find that look in their own eye for whatever it is in Magic the Gathering or in gaming or in nerddom or in cinema or in art or in music or in sports. I don't like more music in sports, but if you do, find that joy.
Who doesn't like music?
My father was a professional musician. There's music in my ear.
Yeah. Hi, Betty. That is
I
actually
guess
our
that
music in
sound-
my ear segment.
That sound means our time is up.
No, because there's a question that
Yeah.
I need to ask you that
Yes.
is you kind of answered. But what would you say to people who haven't played Magic, who have been interested in it?
Check out my video, How to Play Magic the Gathering.
You have a specific.
I have
how
a
to play
specific
Magic?
video, teach you how to play Magic the Gathering
I'll
in 15
put
minutes.
that video in the description.
It'll teach you how to
with-
play in 15 minutes or less. I have one of those for Pokemon TCG, Flesh and Blood, Smash Up, and several other games. Learn how to play in 15 minutes or less. Magic is a TCG, a trading card game, and trading cards with friends is one of the more fun ways to build your collection. Many Magic the Gathering players start with some booster packs or starter decks, or even a deck builder's toolkit, and slowly build their decks from there.
Well, you grew up near where I live. You live in Seattle now, right?
I live in Portland now. I was born and raised in North Hollywood.
And so when I reached out to you, it was not too difficult because you were going to come visit anyway
I
at
was
some
coming
point.
down to see my folks.
So next time that happens, I would love to ask you to bring a legacy deck.
Yes.
And I just need to make sure I say this so I'm setting expectations properly. Even though I texted you this, I'm not a Mox legacy. I just mean, because it's old format.
Right.
So I don't know if you got a crazy vintage legacy deck.
Well, vintage isn't legacy. Those are two separate formats. I have a video on my channel about what is the legacy format. Learn about it. I can send you a link to it. Yeah,
please,
yeah,
because
yeah.
from when I come from, it was just type 1, type 2.
Sure. Oh, my sweet summer child.
And I've played many times since, but just with people like that.
Yes.
So I would love that, but maybe we'll do another thing where we're playing and we narrate it. I don't know what that would look like, but if not, let's at least be buddies and play some Magic.
I have legacy merfolk.
Okay. I'm a rebirth deck.
Absolutely.
Is that a name? That's what I've named it.
I will pretend that you know what you're talking about.
Why
No,
is that?
it's just a joke. I'm just sorry. It's a bad joke.
It's why I got my Achroma. I could get my Achroma out in turn 3, baby.
Yeah, that's great.
I want to play so bad right now.
That's adorable.
I am.
I'm,
okay.
just,
No,
I'm
that's
such
fine.
I'm such a bad player. Merfolk is a bad deck, and I like it because it's a bad deck.
Well, let me.
Oh God, do you have a Lord of Atlantis? That's like my signature.
Now, I am mostly commons. I have 2 uncommons and 2 rares.
I'm every part of my. Oh my God.
Beta.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
That is my
9.5,
favorite.
baby.
There it is. The Lord of Atlantis,
Isn't
a
that
master
beautiful?
of tactics. That is beautiful. And I
Hold
just
that up for your camera.
Yeah. There it is. That is just fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Sure, you put it back, right?
Yeah, put it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
Yeah.
a pleasure, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And I guess Scoot do,
What?
bubbity blue.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah.